It is 5 in the morning. Outside, it is dark and completely still. Your neighbors are asleep. Your phone is quiet. The street is empty. And you are awake. Standing in your kitchen, making coffee that no one else is awake to share, in a silence so complete you can hear your own thoughts clearly for the first time in days. What happens to a person who chooses this for 30 consecutive days? Not occasionally. Not when they feel like it. Every single day, for a month, 5 a.m. No exceptions. The answer is stranger, more specific, and more profound than any motivational video will ever tell you. This is what actually happens. Let's start with what nobody puts in their YouTube thumbnail. Days 1 through 3 are awful. Not difficult, awful. Your alarm goes off at 5 and your entire body stages a revolt. Your eyes feel like sandpaper. Your brain is running at about 40%. You sit at your desk or in your kitchen and feel absolutely nothing that resembles inspiration or productivity. This is completely normal. This is not failure. What is happening is biological. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs when your body expects to sleep and wake, has not moved yet. You are asking your body to do something it has not been prepared for. The transformation does not start on day 1. The transformation starts when you get through day 3 anyway. By day 7, something begins to shift, and it is not what most people expect. You don't suddenly feel superhuman. You don't bound out of bed. But you notice something strange: the early morning hours have a different quality of thought. Your mind at 5 a.m. is quieter than your mind at any other point in the day. No notifications have arrived yet. No one has made a demand of you. No social media scroll has already loaded other people's lives into your mental space. Your brain is running on its own frequency for the first time, uninterrupted, uncrowded, genuinely yours. Psychologists call this the pre-social window. And the people who use it well, writers, executives, athletes, consistently describe it as the most cognitively clear they feel all day. Here is the paradox that makes the 5 a.m. challenge worth doing even if you fail sometimes. Around day 10, something neurological begins to happen. The effort required to wake up starts to decrease. Not because the alarm is any less jarring, but because your brain's basal ganglia, the region responsible for habit formation, is beginning to encode this behavior as automatic. You are no longer making a decision every morning. The decision has been pre-made. Neuroscientists have documented that habit formation for complex behaviors typically requires between 18 and 254 days, but the initial resistance drop begins around day 10. By day 21, most people report that waking at 5 has stopped feeling like a fight. It has simply become what they do. The discipline paradox: the thing that requires the most willpower to start requires almost none to maintain. By the second week, the question shifts from, "Can I do this?" to, "What do I actually do with this time?" And this is where it gets interesting, because the research on high performers who use early mornings consistently points to the same pattern. They do not sprint through a productivity checklist. The most effective use of the 5 a.m. window is not frantic output, it is intentional input. Movement, to wake the body properly. Stillness or journaling, to orient the mind before external demands arrive. Focused work on one thing that matters before the noise begins. The mathematics are simple: 2 hours of uninterrupted, pre-world morning time, compounded daily, adds up to 60 hours across 30 days. 60 hours of focused, quiet, own time. Where did those hours exist before? Nowhere. They were inside the extra sleep. Here is the change that genuinely surprises people, and it happens in the evening, not the morning. By day 20, most people doing this experiment report something they did not expect: they are tired at 9:30. Not exhausted, not ill, just naturally, genuinely ready to sleep. The person who wakes at 5 has moved their entire circadian window. They find that the compulsive late-night scrolling that used to steal 2 hours has simply evaporated. Not through willpower, but because the body is authentically done. And in its place, real sleep. Earlier, deeper, more restorative sleep. The cruel irony of most people's nights is that they stay up late despite not being productive, then sleep in despite not being rested. Waking at 5 breaks that cycle completely, from both ends simultaneously. Let's talk about what is actually happening inside your brain when you shift to 5 a.m., because this is not motivation, this is biology. Your body produces a natural surge of cortisol in the morning, not the stress cortisol of anxiety, but the activating cortisol of wakefulness and focus. This surge peaks between 6 and 8 a.m. Waking at 5 means you are awake and working before this peak, so when it arrives, it amplifies what you are already doing rather than just dragging you out of sleep. Additionally, the prefrontal cortex, your center of judgment, focus, and decision-making, is at its sharpest in the first 2 hours after waking, before decision fatigue accumulates. Combine this with the absence of external stimulation, and you have a neurological window that genuinely does not exist at any other point in the day. The 5 a.m. person isn't grinding harder. They're working smarter, in the only window the brain offers this clearly. Something happens around day 25 that has nothing to do with productivity or sleep cycles or cortisol. It is subtler and more significant than any of that. You begin to identify differently. Every morning you wake at 5, especially the mornings you didn't want to, the cold mornings, the late night before mornings, the mornings your body said no and you got up anyway, you make a deposit into your self-concept. A small, silent proof. I am someone who does what I say I will do. I am someone who keeps a commitment to myself. I am someone who gets up. This accumulation of evidence changes how you approach everything else. Difficult conversations. Hard deadlines. New challenges. The person who has woken at 5 for 25 consecutive days has 25 data points proving to themselves that they can do hard things. That identity carries into every corner of life. Day 30. The alarm goes off at 5. And here is the honest answer to what changed, not the motivational version, the real version. You did not become a superhuman. You did not write a novel or build a company in 30 mornings. What you did was this: you reclaimed 2 hours a day that previously belonged to unconsciousness. You discovered that your mind has a quality of clarity in early morning that it has at no other time. You rebuilt the nightly relationship between tiredness and sleep so that your rest is genuine and your waking is real. You proved to yourself, 30 times in a row, that you can keep a hard commitment to yourself. And somewhere in there, quietly, without announcement, you became slightly less afraid of difficult things. That is what 30 days at 5 a.m. actually gives you. Not a transformation. A direction. Before you try this, and I genuinely want you to try it, there is one thing that will determine whether you succeed or give up by day 4. And it has nothing to do with willpower or motivation. It is preparation. The night before. Lay out your clothes. Know exactly what you will do in that first hour. Have the coffee ready to press or pour. Remove every friction point between your alarm and your first meaningful action. Because at 5 in the morning, your willpower is at its lowest point. You haven't had coffee, your body is resisting, and your warm bed is right there. The people who succeed at this do not rely on morning willpower. They make the decision the night before, and in the morning they simply follow the path they already laid. The 5 a.m. habit is not one at 5 a.m. It is one at 10 p.m. Here is your challenge. Not 30 days, that comes later. Just tomorrow. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. tonight. One day. Wake up when it goes off. Don't negotiate. Don't check your phone first. Put your feet on the floor, stand up, and walk to wherever you've prepared your morning to begin. Do that for one day. Then decide about day 2. The people who wake at 5 are not special. They are not more disciplined than you at the start. They are simply people who, one morning, decided to find out what existed on the other side of the alarm. What is on the other side? 2 hours that belong entirely to you. A quality of mind you have never fully accessed. 30 small proofs that you can do what you say you will. And a version of yourself that, come 9 o'clock in the morning, has already built something, while the rest of the world was still asleep. Comment 5 a.m. below if you're starting tomorrow. I'll see you on the other side.